want to talk about your debut album, Seven. But before we get into it, I want to talk about your life story because it's quite interesting. Now, I know that you've done a lot of interviews about what you did before you got into music, but and you were actually worked as a car guard.
That's correct.
Tell me what that was like.
It was such an amazing experience, not easy or beautiful at time, but now I get to appreciate it from a distance.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to learn and meet a lot of amazing South African people and experience live, love from people, like people that literally, I'll go out with no money in my pockets and come back with enough money to carry me out for the next day, you know. And I met a lot of amazing people during that period. And I think that experience really humbled me and molded me into the person, artist that I am today.
What was the hardest part for you about working as a car guard?
The hardest part? I think the hardest part for any human being is I think, rejection. You know, I think most of the time people don't understand the person who's at the bottom of the rope, you know, and we most of the time make general conclusion about people. You don't really, I mean, there are a lot of people from African countries living here and working as car guard, security guard, gardener, which I did all those jobs, but some of them are actually doctors. They had the doctors from Congo, whatever, but when you move into an English-speaking country and you're not that fluent and your education is not recognized here, obviously life is not, yeah, I think in life for me, I really appreciated working as a car guard, and it's such an experience that I'll never regret.
Tell me about your journey getting to where you are now. I mean, now you're sitting here on the couch being interviewed at News 24. You only moved to South Africa 7 years ago.
That's right.
Tell me about that journey. Why did you move here? How did you get to where we are today?
The journey, it's a pretty long one, but I'm just going to give you like crucial points. I literally moved. I was born in a small town called Goma, east of DRC, and when I was about 17, I lost both my parents. So few years later, I decided, made peace with myself that I wanted to do music for a living. I wanted to be an artist, and I made peace with it, whether I become successful or not. And so I started my journey from my hometown through Africa. So I went from Congo to Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, Malawi. I encountered a lot of like trouble along the way, losing passports or traveling illegally through some countries. And beautifully, I call it a beautiful accident, and ended up in Durban end of 2007. And as I said earlier, South African people have been really amazing and very receptive of my music. And because literally a month later, 2 months later, when I arrived here, I found my first manager. Though I could not speak English, I found myself opening for acts like Eddie Grant, Freshly Ground, with a band that my old manager Rod Nichols formed, Maisha, and things just started, rolling. 2 years later, 2 years later, I actually in 2010, I won a worldwide competition with Rolling Stone magazine and Intercontinental Hotel Group. It's called a songwriting competition, which really gave me a really good boost as a songwriter. And in 2013, I got what I thought, or what I still think is probably a very crucial break for my career. I wrote 2 songs on Zahara, sophomore album, which went double platinum, and that kind of set me up and changed my life in many ways. I went on tour of her with Nedbank, and I also bought my first car. And
what kind of car did you buy?
A VW, best first car.
That's the best first car.
Yeah,
it really
I
is.
think, and things happened gradually. I signed my first worldwide publishing deal here, actually in Cape Town, in 2010. And after the tour of Zahara, I managed to, for the first time, finally, to go see my family 6 years later.
Wow.
And I saw them early last year.
What was that like, seeing your family 6 years
The
later?
best feeling ever. Like the pride in the eyes and just the joy. So I came back and just was inspired, and I went in studio and just wrote music. And that's how I did not plan to just start to record my album. It just came from a place where I just came back and just started writing. And those songs that I wrote after coming back actually became part of this album, that 7 that going to be released in September. And I mean, Mount Everest was one of the first few songs I wrote. And the song has changed my life in many ways. I mean, it's in top 10 in Italy, in the top 10 charts, iTunes charts, and as well as Shazam chart in Italy. And next month it will be released in Sweden, Germany, France, Netherlands, and a few other European countries. Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I think there is something great really ahead of us.
Did that 17-year-old who chose to pursue music ever think that it would all be happening like it is today?
You know, it's so weird. Like, I had this feeling that I knew what I wanted, right? I knew what I wanted. I mean, along the way, I got a lot of offers from great people that were achieving great things in my country, East Africa, but I knew what I wanted. Although I knew it was it was 90% that it might not happen, because it does not often happen for an African artist to have something working for them here at the same time as Europe. Obviously, at least from what I know, since the greats, Johnny Clegg and them, you know. And not in my wildest dream, I thought Mount Everest will be the song that will be taking me around the world.